In this video, we show you how to work with SQL joins. Basically, the join operator allows you to combine data from two tables. Although it is quite simple to use it, as you'll see in this lesson, the join operator is very important when it comes to manipulate data. And it is easy to understand the reason why. When you look at the relational model, as in the simplified libraries database model, you notice that information is split into different tables. This is a natural consequence of normalization, a very important concept associated to relational modeling. So, when you try to put information together to create a report, for instance, you usually need to gather data from several tables. And here is where you'll use the join operator. The join operator is part of standard SQL. That is, it works roughly the same way in DB2 or any other RDBMS you find. When you use the join operator, you are always combining data from two tables. And the first thing you need to do is identifying the relationship between those two tables. Remember, we are talking about relational databases, right? In other words, you need to identify the column or columns on each table that should be used as the link between those tables. The next step is to identify the type of join you want to do, and we will see it in detail. SQL offers you several different types of joins. It all depends on what you are looking for. For instance, you can extract a data set corresponding to the intersection of the two tables involved. Or you can choose a bigger data set. You can go up to the point of selecting the combination of all the data from those two tables. The most common type of join is the inner join, which returns a set of data that represents the intersection of those two tables. That is, the records from those tables that are actually related to each other. First, take a look at the Venn diagram representing this join. Then you can check the SQL syntax you need to use to do the join. Now let's try to run it. This is the basic structure. List the columns you like, and the from clause you list the tables you are going to relate. And here it is. Borrower as B, inner join to table loan as L, on B borrower ID equal to L borrower ID. This is the basic syntax you need to use. And here, as I listed the columns I like, I use the alias to reference the tables they belong to. This is much easier than rewriting the whole table name. So let's run it. And here it is. We just see here the records from both tables that have the same ID, as you can see here, and so on. Now let's talk about the left join operator. To understand how it works, you need to look at the SQL statement you're running. The Venn diagram for the left join operator is like this. You bring everything from the left table, adjust the information from the second table that fits to the other. When you say left table, we mean the table to the left of the join operator. In this case, the borrower table. As you will see, the syntax is quite similar to the previous one. We just changed the operator itself. Let's see how it runs. Here, I will just correct the operator, changing from inner to a left join, and that's all. All the rest is the same. But as you see, the result is quite different. Now we see all the records from the borrower table and only the information from the loan table that combines to the previous one. Let's take a deeper look into those no values. Notice when we run the left join, we're picking columns from both tables, but for instance, column last name from the borrower table and column loan date from the loan table. Check the results. As the SQL statement uses a left join operator in this example we're showing, you'll see all the values from the columns from the left table, as you can see here. But some records show new values on all columns from the right table. And here, this happens when the right table doesn't have the correspondent key. In this example we are studying, this is actually a libraries database, as I said before. In practice, this means that borrowers Lee, Wong, and Peters, whose IDs are D6, D7, and D8, have never loaned any book before. When you work with the right join operator, you'll see the very opposite effects. You might have no values also, but this time the records from the left table will be affected.